everybody. Hopefully you can all hear me and we're ready to rock and roll. We're going to see if the wizard team here can tell me if I am live. Hopefully I am. Okay, everybody, let's see. We are ready to go. Today we are going to be talking about benefits of professional accreditation for public adjusters. My name is Lynette Young. I am a co-founder and the sorceress of alchemy. Really, I do revenue generation and training and all kinds of things like that over here at ClaimWizard. But what I really love to do at the company is teach public adjusting companies how to be more efficient, work half the time, make 5 times as much money. So that's my plan here. So one of the things that I want to talk about today actually on our Facebook and YouTube lives is the idea of professional accreditations in your industry. So I come from tech. I'm still in tech, I suppose. And we love accreditations. We love training and professional development that you can get by taking classes, taking tests, and then also with your real life experience. Some things can't be tested and bought, so to speak. Sometimes you have to be in the industry for a certain amount of period of time to kind of prove your worth and to make sure that you have real life experience under your belt rather than just being an excellent test taker. So what I'm going to do today is I want to go over some of the accreditations that are available for public adjusters. There are more out there. Please do your own research. I'm kind of giving you the starter session of it, right? So there will be resources wherever you're watching this. There's links below that we're going to talk about. You can always go and reach out to these organizations. They are the authorized people to offer these accreditations, testing, and all of that. And we're going to talk about the benefits of why it's a good idea to do this. Okay, so ready to rock and roll? Ready to rock and roll. Okay. So the first set that I want to talk about right now is designations, professional public adjusting designations that are available as a partnership between NAPIA, the National Association for Public Insurance Adjusters, right? I finally learned what that stood for. And this set is in partnership with a company called The Institutes, web.theinstitutes.org, all below again. The first thing, and I see these because I work with public adjusters that have these accreditations next to their names, right? These initials. I'm like, well, what is this? Sometimes with attorneys, you'll see ESQ. Like, I don't know if that's official or not for Esquire. But I was like, okay, let's research into this. Why are the top people, the most respected people in the public adjusting industry, they have these accreditations? So that means something to us in the industry and to your potential clients and to your clients. So I want to talk about that. The first one that I found was Associate in Insurance, AINS. So that is one that you can get, and they all have varying degrees of requirements, testing, length that you need to be in your position, things like that. You have to actually show your work in a lot of them. I know my life as an ex-professional speaker, the National Speakers Association, the NSA, you couldn't even apply unless you could show 5 years of professional speaking experience with receipts, like literally how much did you get paid, what type of organizations, how large were the audiences you spoke in front of, what was the topics that you spoke in front of, things like that. What is your sales process? What is your closing process? All of that matters because when you get that accreditation, it means something. So AINS is one. The next is Associate in Claims. That one is a very popular one. That goes by AIC. Another one that I see only in extremely select few people is Chartered Property Casualty Underwriter. So that, a lot of times from what I've seen, could be people that are coming from the insurance industry, from the carrier side. But regardless, there are a lot out there that you can go and kind of research and get into. But the most important one that I feel that you can get through NAPIA and the institutes is the SPPA, Senior Professional Public Adjuster. In addition to I think it runs anywhere between 12 and 18 months of testing, because obviously you just can't take the study material and test for it overnight. you are required to show 10 years of relevant public adjusting experience. There used to be one, let's see if I can remember what it's called. I have it written down, called CPPA, Certified Professional Public Adjuster. Now, I do still see people that use these, and the requirement was 5 years of professional experience, but I don't see that offered anymore. So I'm actually feeling that they may have grandfathered that out. So if you have been in this industry for 10 years, the very first thing I want you to do after this is hit the show notes, go to theinstitutes.org, look for SPPA, and find out what the process is for that accreditation. It means a lot. We're going to talk about why after. So 2 other accreditations that I see, and there are many more from this next institution, is from the American Educational Institute, AEI. That's a mouthful for me. 2 that I see from very well respected people in the public adjusting industry is the PLCA, which is Property Claims Law Associate, and the LPCS, which is Legal Principles Claims Specialist. And a lot of the AIE accreditations have to do with understanding the legal side of claims, contract law, all of these things that you may feel kind of go a little bit over into the law side of things. As far as I'm concerned, you're not practicing law, but having a very strong understanding and certification in these is probably a really good idea. So those are some important things that I think that we should be looking at and talking about in the industry. Again, please reach out to NAPIA. So I'm going to check, is it napia.org? Napia.com. I'm so bad with this stuff. And to work to see about the institutes, about specifically getting your SPPA, and then also reach out to the American Educational Institute and see what they have. Obviously, I have no affiliations with either of them other than we are members and vendors of NAPIA, but I think everybody should get their accreditation. One thing I wanted to kind of give as an example is I have several accreditations, but the one that I kind of really use the most with my work with ClaimWizard, because I work for a technology company, I don't work for a public adjusting company, conflict of interest in my opinion, or I don't have my license, is I am a CBA, Certified Business Advisor. So you can check all that out at claimwizard.com/FTN for Fix This Next. But again, you go through training, you go through testing, you go through accreditations, and I have to retest every single year to keep this. So it's not like it's, you can just buy your way in. You really have to understand what you're doing, having proven expertise and, kind of the track record to work with, in my case, small businesses. And I chose to specialize in first-party claims and public adjusting because what it does is all these things that we're going to talk about next. So the first benefit of, I should probably have pasted and put all these into my little, video thing. Technology's fancy. I didn't get a chance to do that today. Is when you get an accreditation within your industry. The first thing when people see it is they see your name, put it on your business card, put it on your email footer, put it everywhere, right? Because they're going to say, what is that? The first ones I started seeing were the CPPA and the SPPA. SPPA being the valid one right now, right, for senior public or professional public adjuster. I'm immediately going to ask what that's about. And I see letters after someone's name, like, comma PhD or whatever, like, it means something. What this does, first and foremost, when you're working with peers in your industry, and specifically clients and prospects, is it gives you a leg up on trust and credibility, because now it's not their word or their gut feeling or their neighbor that referred you to them, that kind of thing. It's, hey, an outside independent firm has vetted them, has tested them, has, some input over, what they know, teaching them the things they need to know, teaching them how to be better. Kind of what it reminds me of a little bit is like Michelin for the, stars for restaurants and for chefs and things like that. Like if I go to a new city and I'm like, I don't know where to eat, and Yelp reviews are pretty junky and things like that, or untrusting, I can trust somebody that has a Michelin star, right? I also know my wallet's going to hurt in that case, but you know what I'm saying. Like, that there is, instant trust and credibility given to you when you are working with someone that has an accreditation in their field. Another great example of this is when you go to your general practitioner, right? So you go to a doctor's visit or you go to a dentist. Okay, that's great. But what if you are a specialist? What if you are board certified? If I'm going in for knee surgery, this girl has several times, I don't want to go to a general practitioner. I don't want to go to someone that does, general practitioner wouldn't do surgeries nowadays because everybody is specialized. But what do you do to be one, an arm and a leg, a knee and an elbow over that? You get your accreditation, you get certifications to elevate your status, to elevate your education, to keep yourself up to date. That's exactly what the institutes and the AEI help give you. Credibility is for that too, because it's the same thing that your own industry recognizes you as an expert. Next thing, and this goes with the trust and credibility, having a professional certification as a public adjuster helps you stand out from the crowd and gives you a competitive advantage. If, for example, you're going up against another public adjusting firm or what have you, or even just up against, what I call duct tape and hand grenades, which is a policyholder trying to adjust their own claim directly with the insurance carrier, then how are you going to stand out? How are you going to stand out about the IA of the week that they get to work on something? How are you going to stand out against the company that they just send out to do inventory contents or, what have you? How are you going to look like a professional against them? How are you going to elevate your own status? And that is with things like professional accreditation. When you can go to a client or they see on your website or your business card that you have several accreditations. And I do know people that are in the public adjusting industry that still keep valid and up to date building and architectural certifications and things like that. So contracting and architecting certifications, because even though it's not directly related to the public adjusting industry, knowing someone has architectural or structural or foundational types of accreditations and testing and kind of parameters around them tells me that when they come into a property, they are going to understand more than the average person about finding damages and being able to get them to indemnification. So I definitely think that helps you stand out from the crowd. So if you have a certification, don't hide it, definitely flaunt it. The third thing that I really think is important that not a lot of people maybe think of is professional accreditation specifically for public adjusters. It's not passing your test and getting your license. That is the bare minimum entry to this industry, right? It is about improving your work product and your work process, right? So the education that you receive here is crucial for learning things, learning the gaps. If you came up into this industry either as a contractor or, a lateral trade, restoration, roofing, what have you, maybe you're one of the good guys that defected from an insurance carrier, came over that way. Chances are you know what you know because that's the experience that you had, but why not give yourself the personal and the professional advantage of learning where the gaps are in your knowledge? You don't know what you don't know, right? So let's talk about, if you're a bang up hardcore residential public adjuster, maybe go out and look for things, look for training, look for certification, look for professional education that will allow you to understand and get involved in commercial properties. Or maybe you choose to stick with residential. Why not go and expand your knowledge on this so you're aware of new building types, new building materials, codes in area, building codes in areas that you're not used to. All of the things that you can get exposed to in education from getting a professional certification. Now, some people think certifications are testing you on what you already know, but that's not the case. Professional certifications and accreditations are really supposed to elevate you, fill in the gaps, so you are a well-rounded professional in your industry that can provide the very best service for every single client that you take on. That's a pretty powerful thing to have under your belt. Let's see. And then the last, which is kind of weird, right? It can increase your earnings. And it can increase your earnings many ways, right? And I'm not just saying about increasing your fees. I'm not saying go from 10% to 12% to 25%. I'm not saying increase your fees. But what's going to happen is two things. Number one, you're going to attract more business because of those certifications. More business is going to come to you, and you're going to close more business because of those certifications. So that's money increase number one. And the second increase, in my opinion, is the most important out of all of them, is you are going to be able to discover, document, and indemnify more damage, more actual damage that is covered by a policy, because you're going to have a better understanding of the business, the policies, the building structures, all of the related things that a less experienced person will not be able to find and successfully adjust with a carrier, right? So you're going to find the things that other people can't. That means bigger claims, your fee will get larger, right? But really what we're looking for is to be able to help your clients get back to where they were had they not had a loss, right? You want to make sure that they get every single penny that they legally deserve. By getting your accreditations, this can absolutely help you with that. So one of the things that I have below is, where else would I lead you except for the Merlin Law Group property law blog? I forget what they call it. PropertyInsuranceCoverageLaw.com. So we've got two links below, and I know that Chip Merlin and his crew, Chip bangs on the drum. Get your professional certifications. If you're a smart cookie, you know this stuff anyway. You fill in the gaps you don't have. Get your accreditation. I'm going to say it again because Lynette always says it. What else is new? A rising tide raises all boats, right? My team's probably sick of hearing me say it. But what that means is when you can be a better representation of public adjusting industry, it's better for all of us, right? It drowns out the couple bad apples in the barrel kind of thing. We want this industry to be strong and to thrive for the sake of policyholders, right? Get your accreditation. See that this is a true profession that deserves to be respected and utilized and monitored, honestly, because we do want the top ethical people, the top educated people, the top everything in this industry. You should want us to be all held to high standards, right? And hold yourself to a higher standard. Get your accreditations. Move forward with that. So if you go to the PropertyInsuranceCoverageLaw.com, and it's linked below, there are two articles specifically where they talk about the idea of getting professional accreditation. You just search for public adjuster accreditation, it'll come up, but there are two. The Premier Professional Designation for Adjusters. So he wrote this back in 2011. And the next one is how show your commitment and knowledge by obtaining insurance designation specifically for public adjusters. And that one was written in 2012. So he's been on this for quite some time. So those are some things that I think are really important for us to understand about getting accreditations, using them, how to market with them, all that sorts of things. So if you have any ideas, any comments, if you are holding accreditations, definitely leave comments down below, live or on the replay, it doesn't matter, and let us know what you have, what it took, and how you can kind of maybe recommend them to other people about what they should do. So we'd be really interested in hearing that. One place, there are also, I should have mentioned this, and oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed for forgetting this, IAUA.us. That's the thing. IAUA. Let's see what it stands for. Oh my gosh. It's for umpires and appraisers. US. All right. I'm getting there, Lynette. I'm getting there. Insurance, Appraisal, and Umpire Association. That's another one. Shame on me for not remembering it. Mr. Bob Norton is a very good professional friend. I adore him. He is on the path. What his organization that he works for does is they train appraisal people, appraisers, and umpires. So maybe you're not on the path of being, want to go for other certifications. Maybe being an umpire and appraiser is in your cards of something that you want to do. I kind of joke here in Texas that any public adjuster over the age of 40 wants to become an appraiser because they don't want to get a roofs anymore. Truth, I'm not lying. So definitely check out IAUA.us. They have lots of information. They do amazing training. In fact, next time in my area, I'm actually going to sit in and audit the classes and take the test just for the heck of it. I never plan on getting certifications in your industries because I figure none of my team will do it because to us that's a conflict of interest, but that doesn't mean I can't be educated on it, right? So I think that it's a really good idea if you go out and check that out, because being able to be kind of like in the know about things even that you're working with. So even if you're not ever going to want to be an appraiser yourself, say, you still need to understand the appraisal process more in depth. So go out and get some training on it. I think that would be amazing. So there's a lot that we can do with that. So even if you don't think that you're ever going to need to deal with the intricacies of the law pieces of a policy or a claim, or, what it takes to go through litigation and all of the things, maybe go in for the education for it. Sometimes the education is just enough. But if you're eligible to get those letters after your name, I definitely think that you should. Ramping up for this, I decided that I was going to start putting CBA for Certified Business. Oh my gosh, I can never remember. Certified Business. Oh my gosh, you would think, because I keep wanting to say consultant, and that's not it, because that's what it was in the beginning. Advisor. Oh my gosh. I don't like to use coach. I don't like to use those things. It is CBA, Certified Business Advisor. Holy cow, Lynette. I should learn that, right? Like I said, they changed it a little while ago, and I'm still not kind of used to it in my head. But I should put it on my business cards. I should put it on my website. I should put it in my email. Because why? Because people are going to ask me about it and say, oh, what does this mean? And what are the benefits of me working with you versus somebody else? So I definitely think that that's something that would work well for you too. All right. That's about it. We're definitely under our 30 minutes. Hopefully that was good. Gave you some inspiration and some resources to go check into about why public adjusting certifications and accreditations are vital for this industry. Gave you some resources about where to go. One of the other benefits that I will say to these is be sure to check out your local and national public adjuster associations. Sometimes they have discounts or codes or something, extra classes or what have you, that you can use for taking your accreditation. They're not very expensive. From what I saw, that Sppa, you could probably do it for well under $1,000, but don't quote me on that. Test material and then the actual fee to take the test, it's not expensive, and the ROI, the return on investment, in my opinion, is massive. So thank you all very much for being great representations of the public insurance industry. We think the work that you're doing is amazing, and we're here to support you in any way. Have any questions? Drop them below. Give us a thumbs up. I want to be like a YouTuber. Give us all those things, right? Comments, leave questions. My team and I will get back to you. Thank you again so much. We will see you on the next live stream or at the next industry conference near you. Bye-bye.